I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 244 of the Strat Season podcast. I'm your boy Kam.
Flowz.
And as always, guys, you know where to find us. It's my usual housekeeping message. Head over to our Instagram page and our Twitter pages, Strap Season Pod or Strap Season Podcast. Link in the bio, and that will take it to where we're situated at, really, in terms of content and streaming wise. So, audio, you've got the Spotify, Apple Podcast links, and so on there. And then visuals, YouTube link is there. And if you also like the shorter form content, TikTok channel link is also there as well. So just run up all of that stuff for us, guys. Wherever you get your, consumer content, make sure you follow us, repost us, like, comment, all that good stuff. We'll interact with you guys. Anyways, yes, without further ado, 244 Flowz. Hope you're good. Hope you've had a nice Easter.
Yeah, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good as well, man. I'm good as well. Agenda for this week's episode. I think there's only one place we got to start from, first and foremost, to be honest, bro. I think the major talking point of the weekend when it comes to boxing. And yeah, the major card, I guess, over here in the UK. There was 2 UK cards, but we'll start with the big one, I think. I think that's only right. Benn Whittaker, Liam Cameron 2. The rematch. Yeah, man. I know you tuned into it because I think I saw you live tweeting. I caught it the next day. I wasn't able to watch it live, so I caught it the next day. But I already knew what was up before I even watched the fight. Yeah, man, look. It was building into the fight was over in 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So really and truly, that kind of says that there isn't too much to break down, but actually there is, because we've been treated to, let's call it the Howard Foster special. Or a Howard Foster special, right? I think it's fair to say. And that is the major talking point, the refereeing. The fight went as how I predicted it flows. I think we both predicted. Obviously, we said, Benn Whittaker's got a point to prove here, based on that first performance. And obviously, the hate train that comes with Benn Whittaker now is getting stronger and stronger as we've earmarked in this pod. But yeah, I said that, it won't be surprised me if Ben goes and washes this guy and gets him out of there, or cooks him in the 12 round decision. But yeah, that will make it even funnier based on the people who tuned in purely to support Liam, to spite and to hate watch Benn Whittaker. And to be honest, bro, watching this fight from the first 2 rounds, it went exactly how I planned. It's in terms of, obviously, we know Cameron, given that he believes that, Whittaker has no power and he was tiring Whittaker out because he doesn't really have an engine, was obviously going to be the one trying to step to Whittaker and applying pressure, whilst Whittaker will fight on the back foot, fight behind the jab, and try and counter Cameron. And we were seeing that in portions, that obviously Whittaker was behind the jab, was countering, he was able to counter and land some nice shots, to be honest. Nice, them picture-perfect shots and the picture-perfect counters he was landing. But they weren't... I'm looking at the shots, bro. Ever since we highlighted that this guy might not have power, I watched Whittaker very closely and the shots that he throws. And he was landing some nice shots in there. But to me, bro, they didn't look like... I don't know if you might see different, but to me, I feel like Liam Cameron took those calmly. Like, they didn't really wobble him too tough. That's up until the shot we'll talk about in the second round. But the first round, I think Liam got a nice shot in there in one rally, and then Whittaker replied straight away. You called for Benn Whittaker to return to showboating. You called that famously last week and said, get back to your showboating. It wasn't really the usual Benn Whittaker showboating that we see.
Yeah.
But when he did land some nice shots, he was quick to play with the crowd a little bit. But it was almost as if it was reserved showboating. If it was,
you had a job to do.
Say that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was definitely more reserved. I feel like if the fight had gone on and he was starting to really hook this guy, then that Benn Whittaker old would have come out where he would have been fully taking the piss. But I think that he himself knew that he had a point to prove, and so that's why the showboating was a bit more reserved. But there were still flashes of the showboating there, but it wasn't to the full extent which I guess you didn't really, well, you'd hope for or you called for in that sense. Um, what did you make of that first round, if anything, bro?
Yeah, similar to what you say. He got
Mm-hmm.
behind the jab. He was trying to box. There was a sprinkle of showboating. It was more during the last fight. People vocally saying he should showboat. That was killing me. Um, and I think what I noticed as well, similar to
Mm-hmm.
you, the
Mm-hmm.
power wasn't striking me as because he was landing quick shots and Cameron was coming forward
Yeah.
still, still coming forward after big shots.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, Cameron was landing as well,
Mm-hmm.
which I noticed. Cameron was landing his own shots here and there, and yeah, got me scratching my head again about Whittaker. But he won that first round
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
and I think you've said in the past that when he steps up in competition, that showboating will die. And I think it's fair to say that that's
I
going to
said
happen
it.
because
I said it, man. I said it.
if
Especially
if the against the Cameron,
and especially because of the fact that the power seems to be lacking.
mm,
So he probably against the obviously he's fighting better fighters. So naturally there's less room to showboat because it's highly
hmm
unlikely that you're going to be cooking guys who are also very good. When you step at the levels, you're going to be guys who are just as good as you. So yeah, that's that one. But also when you can bang, bro, that gives you a lot of leeway to make room for a lot of things. You know, if every shot you're doing,
yeah,
the opponent is taking a step back, that's already room for you to now start, showboating and
yeah,
whatnot. And unfortunately, because he doesn't bang, his opponent's always going to be on him.
hmm
Cameron was on him all the time, even though he landed those nice shots and he did a
yeah,
little half showboat. Cameron was still right there in front of him, stepping to him. So he has less leeway. But that being said, bro, we have to talk about the second round because we finally, again, the second round going similar to the first round. I think Whittaker in my books is winning the round. And I think Cameron's going to throw, and Whittaker's, they've sort of thrown at the same time, but Whittaker's landed first, timing wise. And he's landed
hmm
a big hook. And this shot we have seen have an effect. I think for the first time obviously the first two fights this is the second fight they shared, but the first fight, I don't remember Whittaker buzzing Cameron at all. And
hmm
up until this point, he hasn't buzzed him. But he has actually buzzed him here with his shot. This hook, it landed real nice, timed really, really well. And for the first time, we've seen Liam Cameron take a step back, take a few steps back, to be fair. And it's quite clear that he is hurt and he's buzzed. And then we see Whittaker explode. Step to him, and he's just throwing. And we see Cameron in the corner, he's kind of sinking in the corner a little bit. And then this is when obviously Whittaker's unloading. And then I think there's one more shot in the rally that kind of sinks Cameron's knees a little bit. And then we see Howard Foster jump in and wave it off. No 8 count, nothing, just jump in straight away and wave it off. Obviously, cue Whittaker's, wild celebrations. He's going crazy. And the commentary team, they seem to be okay with it.
yeah, yeah.
But Flowz, let's talk about it
We'll talk
because
about them too.
let's talk about it, Flowz. So my reaction when I watched it, immediate reaction was, bro, I think that's premature. Also, I'm looking at the ref. I said, Harold Foster. We've been here before. This is deja vu. This is gonna be on the pod, deja vu. Where have I seen this story before? Where have I read this book before? Howard
Mm,
Foster has a history of doing this, of jumping in to save, I guess, the home, the favorite, the favorite on the night, and jumping in and ending fights prematurely and early. I watched it back a few more times. I'm looking at it now. By the letter of the law, right, Flowz, obviously we know that the referee is in there to protect the fighter and prevent them from suffering any more serious injury than necessary, right? And I'm looking at just the optics of the stoppage. Yes, it's clear that Cameron is hurt, is buzzed. And I would say got buzzed twice. One from the initial shot that backed him into the corner, and the
Yeah,
second shot that sunk him, so he sort of sunk a little bit.
yeah,
Yes, correct. Liam Cameron isn't throwing back. He isn't throwing back at all. And he's under a lot of fire and taken, you can argue that he's taken a necessary punishment here because he's not even throwing back. And we can see he's probably going to go on to be dropped here or stopped or take another big shot because he suffered the shot. When the ref jumped in is when he suffered that second big shot.
yeah,
So by the letter of the law, if I'm to put it that way, or, optically, Howard Foster probably is within his right to stop this if we go off that basis of the fact that Liam Cameron isn't throwing back, it doesn't look like he looks like he's in trouble, blah, blah. But despite this, Flowz, it's still, I still feel somehow about the stoppage, personally for me. I feel like if I'm looking at the rally, right, or the flurry of shots from Whittaker,
yeah.
a lot of them are blocked to me. Not all of them are landing.
Hmm.
They don't all look clean. And again, up until that second big one, these shots don't look hurtful to me at all. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the power thing with Whittaker, but I'm there thinking these shots look pillow fisted, if you ask me. And yes, okay, cool. The issue with Cameron is not throwing back. So you can say, okay, he's not throwing back, and but he's in that corner based on an overwhelming amount of punches, but they're not necessarily landing. Whittaker's just throwing a lot of punches. So to me, I'm there thinking at least let's wait for him to go down. At least. Or just let Whittaker finish his job first before you jump in. Because even though he wasn't throwing back, I don't think he looked desperately hurt, if you ask me. I know a fighter, bro, we've been in this game for such a long time. We
Yeah,
know when a fighter is seriously, seriously in dire straits. And to me, Cameron didn't look to be on the verge of that at that time. Would it have gotten to that? Probably. Yes, there's a high chance it would have gotten to. But at least at least give him an 8 count, at least, I feel like, before Whittaker goes on to finish it. That's why the stoppage to me, it feels somehow. That's it, man. That's it for me. What were your thoughts on it, bro?
yeah. My instant reaction to the stoppage was, ref, what we doing? What are you doing? You've jumped in too early. And it's a case of, especially in a rematch, I think you need a decisive finish.
Yeah.
For Whitaker's sake, he needs a decisive finish. And my instant thought was that you robbed Whitaker here of a
Mm,
clean finish. A clean
mm.
finish, and you've done him no favors. I didn't even clock it was Howard Foster at first. It's
Yeah,
only when
same.
I
Yeah.
think when I was watching it, I wasn't paying attention too tough. I didn't clock it was Howard Foster until they showed the replay
Yeah.
of the stoppage. I was like, oh my gosh, it's him again. It's him again. I was like, the ref couldn't wait to get in there and stop it. Like you say, Whitaker's buzzed Cameron. He's backed off, clearly hurt, but he has his
Yep.
guard up nice and high, blocking a lot of the shots. Not throwing back, but it's fine. His guard is up and he's blocking shots.
Yeah.
He gets caught with another one, which buckles him and his knees dip, and you can maybe say the ropes kept him up.
Mm.
And the ref jumps in to stop it.
Yeah.
Um, there weren't too many punches landed in that flurry for me to warrant a
Yeah.
stoppage. He's been
Agreed.
hurt. He's been caught with a shot again and been hurt. And then you can say maybe there was another shot in there, but a lot of the shots were being punched and blocked, and the ref just didn't give it a chance to unfold.
No.
To either let him get a knockdown, to either let him get caught with a few more shots, where it's a case of, oh, now I need to stop this
Yeah.
because we've seen, we'll talk about earlier on in the cards, there was a fight that was saying, yeah, ref, stop this now, stop this.
Mm.
When we get to it, I'll tell you which fight it was.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll say the Fraser Clark fight.
Yeah.
I'll say it there. But Fraser Clark had dropped him, and then
Yeah.
the guy was hurt, getting caught.
It's
This
what we're trying to say.
down.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what we're trying to highlight here, Flowz, is what you're saying is, let it be clear. Like we can
yeah,
clearly see when a fighter is hurt and it's gone on for too long.
yeah,
And watching this, that clarity just wasn't there for me and
Yeah.
you clearly. And yeah, and a lot of
It
people, I
was
saw the comments after, a lot of people weren't happy with the stoppage either. So we're not alone in that in that regard.
and that's the damage it does because Whittaker needs a clear win here. We don't want to see controversy because now people are going to say, "Oh yeah, gifted, almost gifted in that sense."
I'm gonna get on to that, but yeah, go on, keep going.
And you've done him no favors in that sense. That yeah, this was always going to happen. Cameron was never going to win, but and all he had to do was give it a second, or even come in and be like, "Ropes kept you up, count,
Mm,
boom, boom, boom," and then Whittaker get back to work after the count. I'm by no means saying Cameron would have won or he
mm,
wouldn't have been stopped. So, but you didn't even give it a chance. You couldn't wait to get in there. And Howard Foster with your rep, it's not.
mm.
I know it's not about protecting the fighters because we've seen him allow the home fighter chance after chance.
Yeah,
We've seen him
yeah,
give the home fighter chance, but when it's
yeah.
still
That
the one who's there to lose or expected to lose gets in there right away. The main event of a card, not even a knockdown, buckled twice, and you've called it a day there. Crazy to me.
It's 100% not happening if it was his shoes on the other foot. Yeah, definitely not. If it was Cameron who had buzzed Whittaker in that way, there's no. Howard is giving him all the chances because we've seen that before as well. We've seen it happen before
Yeah.
where they're giving the favored fighter all the chances in the world to try and get back into it. So yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, man, that's the sport we love. Unfortunately, that's stuff like this happens. Um, it's just dabbling that it's Howard Foster, like he said, Howard Foster again. Like he's well known for it. I mean, we can reel it off the amount of times where
It
couple
was it was
AJ.
him
I'll be honest, couple
in
AJ
the
opponents
Warrington
happened
fight.
too. Yep,
In the
yep,
Warrington fight, it was him that was giving Warrington chance after chance. Remember,
yep, 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 yep,
it was Howard Foster where Warrington has never recovered from that fight. Never.
yep. Laura, yep,
The Lara fight, the first one.
yep.
Yeah, so
So
Warrington. It's not about protecting the fight with him. We know that for a fact.
mm, mm, mm. Howard Foster again. Uh, I will touch on this though because last week we spoke about villains in boxing and fighters, leaning into that heel status. Obviously, it's WrestleMania weekend, so obviously we got to talk about heels and baby faces. But Whittaker being a very good heel that he is, even though we don't agree with the stoppage, he at the time looked good value for what he was doing, anyways. In there, obviously we don't know how it would have played out because I think Cameron, his team, are banking on taking him to deep waters because they wanted to test his engine. They said he hasn't really got an engine, and the first fight he was tired. But this, as you said, Flowz, he hasn't done Whittaker any favors. When it comes to that hate train, bro, this if I call a skyrocket, I don't know what to call it, bro. But this is sent it to the mood, bro, because now they're saying that he gets gifts. They're blaming him and his team, all kinds of things. So yeah, man. Once again, Whittaker, lead into this. This is good for you. Good publicity for you.
To be fair, I won't even give all the credit to Howard Foster for not helping Whittaker because Whittaker's action after the fight was insane to me.
What the celebrations and stuff.
They leading out the ring to shout at the Cameron's coach
Yep.
and
Pressure,
he
innit,
almost
bro?
getting slapped for it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Look, yeah, you can say what you want. Like I'm not too fussed about it because it's give and take, whatever. But once again, it doesn't help him. It doesn't do him any favors in that sense. I'm not too fussed about it. We know he's that type of character,
yeah,
whatever. And he shook afterwards, but I
yeah,
saw there was a lot of discourse to it, and a lot of people saying Whittaker's this and that because of it. Yeah, he is. He is that, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah,
But yeah, so I would say he doesn't help himself in that
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
But Foster certainly didn't help him as well.
yeah. Still some, yeah. I mean, for me, this doesn't tell me too much. Obviously, it ended in 2 rounds, unfortunately, so there's not much you can say. But I would still say this with Whittaker. There's still work to be done. Um, yeah, still work to be done. He's got to fight. If he can find maybe more opponents of the level of Ian Cameron, then yeah, he will need that because as he steps up in the levels, bro, like I said, it can get dark. Not to knock his talent. Obviously, I think he's very talented, obviously, but The power thing, bro, it's very worrying. It is very worrying. I'm sorry. It's very, very worrying to me in that division where there's heavy hitters. It's like heavy, no?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Bro, there's real bangers in that division. We know this. So
yeah.
yeah.
And I saw Johnny Nelson say, yeah, maybe you should step over Dan Aziz. Um,
Mm.
could be a good fight.
Good
Dan
fight.
Aziz
I think that's a
hasn't,
good fight. I mean, you could say Danny's season on decline a little bit, right? So yeah.
yeah, yeah, Dan Aziz hasn't had the best results lately. So, but it's a step up from Cameron.
So, as I said, it's a tough fight for Whittaker, man.
It's a
Because if
step up from
Cameron is
Cameron.
applying pressure to you, what do you think Dennis Hees would do? What pressure
Yeah.
is that's his game. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so look, it depends what he wants to do next. He's talked a big game, said he's not ready for the big fish.
at all,
That's clear.
at all. Yeah,
That's clear. So
yeah,
look, you're gonna have to, yeah, start jumping in the deep end with some of these guys, and no more food basically that you can box 12 rounds against
mm,
and expect because we'd be sitting there watching Whittaker fights, expecting him to knock these people out, and he doesn't, and that
yeah,
adds to the fans' dislike of him. So if he steps in there with more challenging fights,
mm,
more names, British level names, and then starts to do his thing, then he might win some people over.
yeah,
But it can't be no names anymore. I'll be
mm,
real
mm.
because yeah, we can't be seeing any more shocks and
No, yeah,
people
yeah,
people building their career off your performance against you,
yep,
earning their name off. Yeah,
mm,
Cameron shouldn't really be here. Here's the
at
truth.
all. Destiny changed
But
because of
yeah,
you. Yeah,
yeah.
cool. You mentioned it already, Flowz, but obviously the Fraser Clark Tete fight was interesting. Do you? I trust you saw the. Obviously, you mentioned how obviously you've wanted the referee to stop it earlier, but did you see Uncle's reaction afterwards?
Reaction.
Do you want to talk to the listeners and let them know what Uncle was on
Yeah,
that day?
I can't even remember what round it ended. Was it the second or
It was
first?
first. It was first. It was
First,
first.
yeah,
Yeah,
first
yeah,
round. So obviously Clark drops him, big shot.
yeah. Heavy shot.
Tete gets back to his feet, and I have to say this is the heavyweight division. So, and we've never called Fraser Clark pillow fisted in the same way that
Yeah,
we're calling Whittaker.
yeah,
He's got pop, and he was
yeah, for
popping
sure.
Uncle,
Yeah,
cracking him, and I was like, ref, get it, stop this, and he did stop it. He
yeah.
jumped in there and stopped it. I was like, yeah, it's time to stop this because after that first knockdown and the way he wasn't blocking the shots, Uncle wasn't
I,
blocking the
I
shots,
can't lie. Uncle was killing me, man.
and then the ref stops it, and Uncle starts gripping after
Man, handled the
grabs
ref.
him,
I said,
grabs
yeah,
the ref,
this fresh. Yeah, get him
fuming.
there. He was so angry. Wow.
He was livid. His coach had to come and grab him.
Yeah.
Rangers coach had to go pour water in his head, cool him down. His head was hot. Um, yeah, crazy reaction. Look,
And he stormed off. He didn't even do it. He stormed out the ring, stormed off to the changing rooms. Bro, his head was hot.
look, I don't mind the reaction if you think, but you will get pissed up. Is the truth.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
You were about to go to sleep. Is the
Yeah.
fact. I can't even defend that one. You weren't blocking the shots. You were getting cracked, wobbled.
Oh, man.
Look, and there's nothing involved in this one, really.
Yeah.
So
It's just a standard
yeah,
comeback fight for Fraser, obviously. Good comeback fight for him. It's the first time we've seen him out since the Wardley rematch. But yeah, that reaction and what Uncle was doing, it there absolutely finished me, man. I was crying. Oh,
crazy reaction. Probably get a
yeah,
fine or something for that one. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
We'll see.
You can't manhandle the ref. You just can't. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
crazy. Grabbed him.
Oh man. I know the ref felt for his life as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with an angry African chasing you. That's too funny, man. Cool. There were matches on the card as well. That's worth talking about. Dalton Smith, obviously one of Britain's like big 140-pound prospects. He was fighting against a French Canadian called is it Valentin Germain? I
Jermaine?
think it was Germain,
Yeah.
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 Um, and Smith, to be honest, from rounds 1 to 12, beat this guy up, to be honest. I say beat him up. Jermaine was good in terms of he was crafty, tricky. He liked to move, boxing move. It was quite difficult to pin down. And he was brave in there. But Dalton, obviously, just being the class that he is, was able to trap him a few times and counter and time him really well. And he dropped him about 3 or 4 times en route to I think it was a 12 round unanimous decision win. And in that final round, I mean, I remember he dropped him in the 12th round for like the 4th time, and there was like 20 seconds left. And Jaman was just trying to survive. He was obviously, the ones where he's happy to see the final bell, and he was able to survive. I'm happy he survived as well, bro, because he, like I said, he gave a good account of himself. He was brave. He was a tricky, crafty operator in there. But yeah, Dalton Smith, just being, like I said, the class that he is, was able to come through that and look good and showed his power. And was unfortunate not to stop him in the end, but Jaman was a good mover, like I said. But yeah, apparently next up for Dalton, obviously he's called for it, and he said it's down to Eddie to deliver for him. He wants a title shot, and we know that divisions are very, very stacked. But I don't think he's far away, to be honest, bro. Obviously they've made it clear that the Adam Azim fight isn't going to happen yet, so that's cool. Whilst they're both on different paths, eventually they will meet. But yeah, he's looking to throw his name into the mix. I still think he will need to fight at least one more guy. I think at least one fight with a guy who has been there before.
Yeah.
Because he's fought Zepeda. I think he fought Zepeda, right? And he looks impressive in stopping Zepeda. So that's one guy who's been there before, but I want him to fight at least one more. So I don't know how I don't know. I don't know how. What's the word I'm for? I don't know how realistic Regis is. Might not be too realistic for it, but yeah, someone, if they can find an opponent that has sort of fought at world level and been there, then I think that will give him good preparation before he then tries to step in the ring with one of the champs. But I think I was reading that they might have targeted. Is he still got it? Is it Puello? No, Puello might have lost it now, I think. Yeah, but I think
he still does.
Didn't he lose to Gary Russell? Oh no, that was Rayo.
Yeah.
So it's Puello still, yeah, Russell got the other one.
Bro.
Okay, yeah. So if Puello still, yeah. So yeah. I think they said they're looking to target. I think they're high up in the WC, so they're trying to target Puello, who is probably the weaker of the champs, if I'm being honest, at 140. The other ones are Richardson and Tiafimo and Gary Russell. So yeah, I'll probably say Puello is the weakest. So yeah, good one to target. But yeah, Dalton, keep on doing what you're doing, man. He definitely is a top talent that the UK have at 140 pounds. So yeah.
Yeah, look, Dalton can't see a title shot before. Well,
You can say what? Catterall?
Yeah, Catterall. Wait, who did Catterall lose to?
No, but as I said, Catterall's lost his position now a little bit. He lost to
He lost to Barboza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And Barboza's fighting Tiafimo for his title now.
Yeah. So
Catterall's unfortunately
maybe make that Catterall.
Maybe I did think that, but yeah, I did think that. I don't know how realistic that is as well.
Yeah, I don't know if Dalton's. He might be ready for a Puerto, but there's big fish coming after the belts in that division.
Yeah.
So I think, look, so Sandro Martin, well, he just offered losses, isn't he? A tough loss, Sandro Martin.
Yeah.
What's his name? What's our boy's name? Jermaine.
Ortiz.
Jermaine Ortiz.
Another
still
good one.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's names that I think Josh Taylor's got a comeback fight.
Yes, I think he does. You're right.
There's names there. He can go for it, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
He's obviously got a team behind him.
Yeah.
I'd maybe like to see one more fight before he grabs a belt. But if the belt's there for the taking, as well go for gold, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Puello's beatable for him. That's why.
Yeah.
I think Puello's beatable. So yeah, if that's the easy route, the one for the title, take it if you can. But yeah, nice performance from him, anyways. And yeah, I look forward to what they do next, and if Eddie delivers for him. Bro, let's talk about next week because there is a big fight to talk about. It's a fight that we've said on this pod that myself and you don't care for, but nonetheless, we will be there and we will be tuned in. And it is still a big fight to talk about. And the undercard's also very good. So, yeah, man, finally it's here. Conor Benn, or as you've been affectionately calling him, Conor Hen, versus Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah, man, obviously, look, we're not even going to hate on the fight. Obviously, it's just not for us. But there's no ignoring, bro. The numbers, what it's done. Sold out Tottenham Hotspur Stadium crowd. The interest is crazy. The demand for this fight is huge. It's like I said, it's a casual fight fan's dream. And we knew it was going to do good numbers. Funny enough, we obviously previewed this properly back when it was initially meant to be, which was what, is it 2 years ago?
Yeah, it feels like
it. I feel like it was 2023, no, when it was initially, yeah. And before, obviously, the drugs test, Conor Benn pissed hot. Bro, my sentiments haven't changed since when we reviewed it back in 2023.
Yeah.
Eubank should win this.
Yeah.
And if Chris Eubank doesn't win this, he should retire, never see the boxing ring again. Seriously. Because there's no, like I said, nothing has changed from 2023. Conor Benn has still not fought for a world title or fought a world level opposition, if that makes sense. Conor Benn is still the one who's having to climb up the weight classes to join you at 160 pounds. So, yeah, Conor Benn is still, it's mad to say, a rookie, technically, compared to Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah. So, how are you going to let the smaller man and the rookie beat you at your weight class? This should never happen. So if it does happen, Chris Eubank Jr., you can't see the boxing ring again, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, like, you can't. Conor Benn has nothing to lose, to be honest, in my opinion, for this, because he can just go back down to welterweight if he does lose. But Chris Eubank, I don't think you have anywhere to go because you've been calling out Canelo and so on. So how can you call out Canelo and Conor Benn's giving you hell? I expect you to wash him. Wash him. Am I being harsh, Flowz?
No, you're not. I believe there's a rematch clause, but I can't envision any situation where a rematch clause should come into effect in this.
Unless it's a draw.
Yeah, unless it's a draw. Chris Eubank Jr. should really and truly wash Benn. He should, like, there's no excuse for him.
What?
I'm not even talking about his ability. I'm not talking about ability wise. Because I'm not going to put money on Eubank Jr.'s ability in that sense. I can't trust him.
Finished. I'm screaming.
The reality is, Conor Benn, at his level, with his inactivity, and with the fact he's moving up how many weight classes to 160 to fight you, you should handle him comfy. You should stop him.
Yep.
You should really treat him in there. Treat him so bad that he's not enforcing the rematch clause.
Yeah.
You've got to treat him because he's been on the couch for how long and he hasn't stepped up in any level. This should be him without any of the eggs in his system. So it should even be worse. It should even, because remember, we were talking about Ben being the most improved.
One of the most improved
level he was.
Remember, bro, he was suddenly he was stopping guys explosively as well, looking mad explosive, sharp, dangerous. Yeah.
Remember, I was backing Formelis to beat Ben.
He was, yep.
That's the Ben I was familiar with.
Bro, it's the same Ben we saw go life and death with. Was it Yvonne Mendy?
Yeah, it wasn't Mendy. It was someone else.
You sure it wasn't Mendy? Didn't he fight that Mendy guy twice?
It wasn't him. Yvonne Mendy was who someone else fought. Luke.
Oh, maybe.
Cool hands. Fought
yeah,
Mendy.
So you're right. Yes, cool. Yes, I remember. That's Campbell. It was. I'll find it. There was a guy that. I saw there was a guy who struggled with. Was it? Was it Payno? Yeah, Payno. He fought him twice. Payno. Yeah. He fought him twice. Yeah.
And that's when we kind of thought, Ben's not that it. He's not it, really.
Yep.
And then he went on from that to start doing madnesses and people
Formella. He went on. It was the run was Formella. Then Vargas. who stopped him 1 round. Then Granados. Then Algieri got him out there in 4. Then Van Heerden got him out of there in like 5, I think. Oh, sorry, no, 2. And
Yeah.
all those 5 guys we know of in terms of they fought at world level. They fought, Granados has fought guys like Brunner. Same with Vargas. These guys have been about. They fought the top guys at welterweight before. So he smoked all of them.
Chris, because they were quick to come out and say, I knew something was up.
Yeah.
I think it was Chris Van
Algieri was the funniest one. Yeah, Algieri was too funny.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. And people have attributed that to the eggs. To the eggs that he was having. So let's see. There shouldn't be any eggs at play in this fight. Yeah. So it's a weakened Benn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no excuse for Eubank Jr. Essentially, is what I'm saying. No excuse.
In fact, bro, he can't even go life and death. Even if he wins with a life and death thing, it's a loss to me.
Yeah, that's bad.
He actually has to cook this guy. He has to treat him.
Yeah.
Has to.
He has to.
And he's been talking like he will. So go and do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, he can do it. He should be able to do it. But like I said, it's seriously damning on your side, Chris Eubank, if you struggle with a Conor Benn. It really, really is. There's no way in hell Conor Benn should be worrying you, troubling you, making you dig too deep, if that makes sense. So yeah. No pressure, bro. No pressure. But like I said, Benn, if he loses, it's fine for him. He can go back to
he has bare excuses.
Bare excuses. Of what? Inactive. Yeah. The whole, obviously being messed around with the whole drug thing. It's not his weight class.
I don't think there's a rehydration clause. There might be. I'm not sure what there is,
okay.
but you can lead on that if there is one. If there isn't one. So who knows?
Man. It's all in Chris Eubank's favor. But yeah, and I do expect Eubank to win. But like I said, I'll be watching very closely, very, very closely to see, obviously, who takes it. Obviously, like I said, the preamble has been funny. And Eubank's antics towards Benn and triggering him at every sort of step, that's been hilarious. And I have enjoyed that. Like I said, when it comes to rattling what I enjoy watching Eubank do that. Like he does that. He's got a gift for that. So yeah, the eggs, the Conor Hen stuff. What make of you? I don't know if you've sort of seen all like the stuff to do with Senior. Obviously, a lot of that's done the rounds a lot recently. Senior's comments and their beef.
I'm not too sure where the fallout stems from. I think it stems from this fight in particular, him taking this fight, or is it something else?
I know
since the last time it was made.
Yeah, so I remember when it was first made, in 2023 or whenever it was.
Yeah,
the Senior wasn't happy with it at all. He didn't like it at all, and he was vocal about saying the fight to him is farcical, and not real, and he didn't want the fight to happen because he felt it was dangerous. I think on Benn's side as well.
And I think last time it was at 154, 155.
One time, yes, 150. Yeah, it was a catch weight. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think maybe 155. So he was like, "Oh yeah."
He didn't want his son dropping weight as well, but he was vocal on both sides. This time they haven't. I mean, it's been clear that their relationship has been super. I think their relationship's been quite up and down for a while now. Remember, he was very involved in Junior's career earlier in his career.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say early to midpoint of his career, Senior was there. And it got to the point where we were saying, and a lot of comments were saying that Junior needs to step away from Senior because we kind of felt like Senior's influence on his career wasn't doing him any good. But Junior then sort of just like went completely, by himself. And I think they cut each other off. And since then, it hasn't been repaired. Senior's been saying in his comments, he thinks Junior's behavior has been, I think, what's the word he used? I think it's basically say it's a clown show. Basically, I think that along those lines about how it's silly, all the antics, the egg antics, it's not proper, and he called him a disgrace. He said his antics have been disgraceful, and he called him a disgrace. So, it just seems like there's just no relationship there right now. It's interesting to me though because they both seem very similar. If you ask me, I feel like they're both very, very similar in the way they are. So shame, but like I said, we're not we're not accustomed to seeing Eubank sort of fly his own flag and do his own thing. So I'm not surprised, I guess. I have no clue who's training Eubank for this fight, who's going to be in his corner. Um, yeah, every fight he's with someone new in it. So, who did he have in his corner last time that actually had him looking good? It was what's his name? Bomac.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you
That
had
was the
Womack.
fight where
Yeah,
Bomac got pinged for the gun, innit? But yeah,
yeah.
he looked
Liam
great under
Smith.
Bomac.
Was it Liam Smith the second one?
Yeah, the second Smith fight, I think it was. He
Yeah,
looked great under Bomac. He looked
yeah,
quality. So
yeah.
yeah, but I don't
I don't.
I don't think he's got Bomac to there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He should win. It's a simple fact. Good undercard as well.
Yeah, let's talk about the undercard. Because yeah, as you said, there are some nice fights on the card. I actually didn't realize how good the undercard was. So from what I can see, we have Anthony Yard, Lyndon Arthur, the third fight. What do you make of this one first and foremost?
Um, I don't see a real need for it, but
Yeah,
almost seems that I can't remember the last time Yard fought. I can't remember the last time Arthur fought. It just seems like maybe it's a weird kind of tune up for both of them.
yeah,
So maybe it could be competitive. Arthur wilted the last fight, so maybe this is his chance to show that he can really do something.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think anyone's rushing to see this third fight. But it could be good, it could be whack. But it's two names on the undercard, so
yeah.
we'll see.
Just to say, uh, we lost all Yard fight last year against Ralph Vikans. That was a 10 rounder. He won on points, but yeah, he didn't look the best. He dropped him in the first round, I remember, but it wasn't the
Yeah,
best fight. And then we last saw Lyndon Arthur fight last year as well against Liam Cameron, and he won that by split decision. So he came in overweight as well. So yeah, it wasn't the best performance from him too. So they're both kind of at that weird crossroads, I guess, in their career. Um, Obviously, yeah, we've kind of mentioned a lot about Yard and the matchmaking before, and how we always seem to be so far away from this Boatsy fight. Um, but yeah, I think it's a big fight for both of them, I guess, in terms of them next getting the big fight. Boatsy could be waiting for the winner potentially. Who knows? But yeah, we see how that one plays out. Cool. We've also got Liam Smith is fighting a guy called Aaron McKenna. Um, I think the Aaron guy, I think he's from, is he Irish? I think he's undefeated. Yeah, he's from Ireland. 19 fights. I think 9 by KO. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't know if you've seen him before or heard of him before, bro. Yeah, same.
nah,
This is probably last chance for Ralph Liam Smith if we're keeping it a buck. Yeah, he's looking to get one couple, like maybe one or two last paydays. Chev Clark, Vidal Riley. Like, probably this is the fight I'm looking forward to the most.
yeah,
A fight that we've called for. I know you've called for it. It's here. Tough fight for Vidal, to be honest, bro. Chev is serious. I think Chev is still undefeated, isn't he? Can
yeah,
bang. Very athletic, very strong. Yeah, man. What do you make of this fight, bro? I think it's a cracking fight, personally.
yeah. I think this is the true 50-50 or the closest
Mm.
on the card really. Two up and coming cruiserweights. Yeah, cruiserweight. They're at
Yep. Cruiserweights. Yep.
probably two of the. Who else we got at cruiserweight level? Probably two of the. Yeah, well, Bennett Swift's on the
Um.
card. Two of our best prospects. Well,
Yeah.
Clark's a bit older anyway, but two of our best up and coming cruiserweights really. And yeah, it's their chance to yeah tangle now. I'm glad it's happening because it's been talked about. They've talked about different routes. I think they're quite cool with each other to be honest. But
Yeah.
I think from the crop that are up and coming, when we talk about the what's his names, the who's the other dude? Isaac Chamberlain,
Isaac. Yeah.
the Lawals. They're
Yeah.
better than them, man.
Sorry, can I just add though? Clark's actually coming off a loss. I forgot. He lost last year in Monaco against Mosquera. Split decision.
Yes,
He
true.
he got dropped in the first round, from what I remember. But yeah, that was for the European title. So he's coming off the
Yeah,
back of a loss to that guy. That Mosquera guy's undefeated. He's not bad himself. But yeah, just to add, yeah, because I said he was
yeah.
undefeated still.
Um, he moved because then they've not fought above. Well, he jumped up to European level. Clark.
Yeah.
I know he had a belt. It wasn't. Was it
Yeah,
British or
British, I
Commonwealth?
think.
He had.
I think is
He had the.
yes, British, which is what is on the line, I think, in the fight
Yeah.
against Vidal Riley. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He had the British. I think Vidal's only had the English.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the level they're at.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he jumped up. But yeah, it should be a good fight. It should be a good fight. I think the pod knows that I've got investments in Vidal.
How's that looking, B?
So, yeah, I don't, look, we need activities. What I've been calling for, but this is a good fight in the right direction. So
For sure.
and Chev's no slouch at all.
It's tough, bro. It's
so
a tough fight for Vidal. It's a tough, very tough fight.
I
For
bet
both
it's
of
a
them.
50-50.
Yeah.
It's real talk. I bet it's a 50-50. It's cream rises to the top for this one. So we'll see. It's prove you're the best right now.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a winner, I would pick Vidal.
Yeah. So, and then lastly, yeah, you mentioned Chris Smith. He's looking to make a comeback. He's up against a guy called Brandon Glanton, a guy I'm not familiar with, but I know he's coming off the back of a free fight KO streak. This guy he's from America, 20 fights, 17 wins by KO, 2 losses. So yeah, seems to be a decent opponent for CBS on his comeback as well. So yeah, all in all, bro, nice card. Nice card. Like I said, boxer, matchroom involved. It's a good fight. And I'm sure the people in attendance will be treated to a good fight, man. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But just to reiterate, Chris Eubank Jr., you can't lose this fight. You can't. And you can't not treat Conor Benn. I'm so sorry. There's no leeway. I don't think we're being harsh, if you ask me, bro.
No, we're not.
I think we're being very, very fair. Very, very fair.
Yeah, can't go life and death. Look, that might be nice for the neutral, but for you, we're killing you.
Absolutely killing you. Absolutely. It's like I will generally say you have to retire.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. We'll see. Hey, man, it's gonna be a fun watch for us, bro. As neutrals, because we got no horses in this race.
Yeah.
Close, regardless. Someone's getting cooked regardless. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Whether it's Benn or Eubank, I don't really care.
Yeah, we're on to either one.
Word.
Either way, we win.
Hey, love that. All right, man. Yeah, I think we can call it there. Unless you've got anything else that I might have forgotten, bro. All right, man. Cool. Episode 244 of the Strat Season Podcast. Once again, I'm your boy Kam.
The boy Flowz.
And as always, you know where to find us on the streaming platforms, guys. Peace.
You taking a strap? I'm strapped up.
7, what was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.